There he is with the eye of the tiger, the Appalachian apostle himself, Adam Joad.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? How you been, man?
Good. I was digging on Eye of the Tiger there. I was having some Rocky memories.
There's always beautiful Rocky memories. Are you guys going to come run up the steps when you're here?
I have before. You know, we went to the statue and everything, and that was pretty cool. So hopefully we'll get to do that again. That was pretty epic. He is the greatest boxer of all time. Like, I mean, Rocky.
You know what? Absolutely. As an Italian guy here from the Philadelphia area, like, in my eyes, there is no other boxer.
No, and he solved the Cold War. I mean, Rocky did so many things.
Oh man, he took on the Hulkster. He did it all.
Yeah, he did it all. You know, that's awesome. Yeah, we could just go in that direction the entire time, and there'd be so much to talk about.
Dude, and you know what's crazy too? Like, there's a guy now here who he's like a Rocky. He looks like Rocky, and he does like Rocky tours where I guess he puts people on a bus and drives you around to the spots of they're filming and
No way.
Yeah.
I would do that.
You know what? I want to do that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
He takes you through the hood and shows you all the fine spots of Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what. You know, when he chased, Apollo showed him how to chase chickens around the gym. He did all kinds of things.
Oh, that's too funny. That's such great stuff.
Good
it really
stuff.
is.
Oh yeah.
And you know what too? And there's the restaurant. You know, because now he has Adrian's restaurant, and
right.
And it's called the Victor Cafe, and I took my wife there for our 20th anniversary last summer. And I surprised her because for years she's like, I want to go there. So I surprised her. I took her there. Here it's an opera Italian restaurant. So like every 15 minutes, like they start tapping a glass and you got to stop. And an opera singer comes out and sings like from some opera and starts and does like a quick verse of an opera, and you're like blown away. It's amazing.
All right. Sweet. Yeah, that's crazy.
And in the midst of all that, they had the Rocky poster, like from the movie, hanging in the back.
That's cool. So random. That's cool though. Yeah. At least they acknowledge it, you know.
Oh, it's great. It's so freaking great. So you know what, dude? Like, the more I learn about you, and I just think to myself, like, how the hell, like, if you were in Philadelphia, like, we would be best friends. Like, between
oh yeah, man, definitely.
music, wrestling, and the Dukes of Hazzard. Like, what more in life is there? And now Rocky.
Oh, yeah, not much. Yeah, Rocky. Yeah, I could get into that kind of stuff all day. My, I'm a huge just like pop cultural in general. Kind of into that kind of stuff. It just cracks me up. I find enjoyment of it. Never grown out of it. It's just make no apologies.
Yeah, that's me. As a matter of fact, I took my daughters this past Friday to they're both like video game video game nerds or gamers, whatever you want to call them, and so we went to this video game convention, this huge just giant room of video game freaking people and vendors and shit, and I bought a Welcome Back Kotter and King Kong board games.
Wow, that's a major score.
And they weren't even played with. I mean, they were open, but
really?
Still intact. I was like, oh shit, yeah, got them both for $15. I was like, okay,
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a win. Yeah, that's definitely. Hell yeah. Yeah, we get into those stuff, especially when we're on tour and stuff. We'll start watching. We'll go down some serious rabbit holes. Sometimes it's newer stuff, sometimes it's older stuff. But we'll just sit around and get into that. But I do that kind of stuff a lot more than some of the other guys are a little more rowdy and go do stuff. But I'm more into you know, you could catch me down a hole watching like First Blood or something. You know, not socializing.
Oh man.
Yeah, good stuff.
So, you all ready for the tour coming out? I mean,
yeah, it's kind of like the quiet time before. You know, I'm just sort of, you know, it's one of those things like, you know, at home before you go, you know, you basically have to get everything ready to be gone for, you know, a month, which is a lot, you know. So, you know, getting, you know, just making sure stuff's done, like the lawn's mowed, you know, like little stupid things, you know, make sure your electricity will be on when you get back. And, you know, so there's all kinds of little stuff to do, you know, and so yeah, that's kind of how I'll spend this week. And then, you know, the guys get in this weekend, and then we, you know, we start rehearsals for tour next week, and then next Friday's the first show. So,
wow,
you know, so that's pretty much, yeah, that's how we do it. You know, we're rehearsing presently in Nashville, so everybody will get in here this weekend, and we'll go down to Nashville and get to it.
Look at that! I can't wait, man. I'm so
yeah, I'm pumped. Yeah, same here, man. I'm excited. You know, I'm excited about all of them. You know, like, you know, we got a cool run coming up. You know, just looking forward to getting in the room and, you know, picking the songs we're gonna do and the show we're gonna put on, and, you know, getting together. We kind of, you know, we do stuff a little differently every time. You know, so it's always, you know, we always come in with new ideas and things like that. You know, we, you know, everything from picking what, you know, how we start it to how we finish it, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's all a blank slate, you know, so it's pretty cool.
Well, the big thing, I mean, that really has been going on with you guys is your drummer, Jake. I mean, this tragic accident, like, what the hell happened, man?
Yeah, man, it's been a very odd year. You know, it's, you know, we were kind of just getting ready to finish up the end of the album cycle for Swamp Rebel Machine, and, you know, he was celebrating his 30th birthday, and yeah, he fell off a balcony. You know, apparently he was, you know, he just had come home and he got locked out, and he was trying to, you know, climb across or something as best we can piece together, and he fell, and nobody found him till the next day. You know, and it's just. Yeah, so he's, you know, by the time they, you know, somebody got to him, from what I understand, you know, that, you know, I think he only had like a quarter of one lung working, you know, at that time. And, you know, he was already septic, is that how you say that? And, yeah, he was in bad shape. You know, I mean, had he not been so close to, you know, some of the best medical centers in the world, you know, he would have been, you know, he was lucky to make it even with that. But, you know, that, you know, they got, pretty sure they life flighted him over the hill, and you know, yeah, so it was touch and go there for a little bit. You know, we were actually waiting to find out if we got, you know, on like a tour package. We were waiting to, you know, to make the next decision, and, you know, instead I got, you know, that call from his mom, you know, and that was you know, that was it. I haven't talked to him since. You know, like I've seen him, but, you know, he doesn't talk anymore or anything, and it's yeah, it's been a lot, you know. So it was kind of one of those, you know, years where you just got, you know, I mean, it hasn't been a year, but, you know, you kind of just step back and just kind of evaluate stuff, and you know, a little while after it happened, you know, his parents, you know, his family, you know, talked to me, and, you know, they, you know, he had spent a good portion of his adult life, you know, pushing this band, and, you know, they wanted us to keep going, and you know, and you know, we weren't really sure what we wanted to do at that time. You know, do we want to keep doing it with this? Do we want to do something different? Do we want to not do it? You know, like, it was just a lot, you know, and just a lot of not wanting to talk about things too. You know?
Absolutely.
So, you know, so we just kind of sat around, and then we, you know, we decided that, you know, we were going to do something. You know, so we came up with the idea of doing a cover song. You know, we weren't ready to put out a new album or write, you know, anything else at the moment, you know, so we decided to, you know, to do a song. You know, we wanted his best friend to produce it. We wanted, you know, his brother to do the video. We knew all these things, you know, but we didn't have a song, you know, and yeah, so we, you know, we put it out on social media, and, you know, we asked people, you know, what we should cover, and, everybody has opinions on social media, so so we got some really good ones, we got some really bad ones, and and it was funny. Like it was just one of those things that it was kind of hard to settle on something because your mood changes so much when shit like that's going on. You wanted to. Sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're pissed, sometimes, you're feeling optimistic, or whatever. And
right.
Just kind of having all those things. Yeah. Those emotions, and so we demoed, probably like five songs, and we tried a few different ones, and, we ended up, as picking Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry, and which was kind of a big, that was a good one. I don't know, it kind of just reflected, it's kind of like one of those things. Look, if we're going to go out here and we're going to do it, what we're known for is just being a kick-ass in your face rock and roll band,
right.
That just goes out. And if we're not going to do that, then we're not going to be a band, and so, that's what Twisted Sister is, that's what they did every time the industry shit on them over the years, and the song lyrics just kind of, worked out real well, so that's how we came up with that one. We we did a couple demos of it, and it was one of those ones where, like, some of the demos we did of other stuff, we were just like, it's just not there, you're just
right.
And if you do if you do a cover song, it's weird territory too. Like, you got to do it well, and I didn't want to totally, like, rethink something either, so that's what we ended up with. And, when we heard the demo playback of that, we're like, that's the one, man. We're like, we got it. That's it. That's what we should be doing, Dude,
it came out so freaking good. Like, it's funny because I was telling my daughter the other day, because I pick her up from work a couple of days a week. And I have it, and she's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Scattered Hamlet." I'm like, they did Twisted Sister's "Stay Hungry." She's like, "Okay," and then I put it on again. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I can't stop listening." I drove 45 minutes one way to work and just repeat over and over, just crank. I mean, I freaking love it.
It's a great song, I heard it, much, after it had come out, and I remember my brother was a big Twisted Sister fan, and it's just such a good song. I've heard there's been a couple of people, I've seen take a stab at it, and we just kind of put it together. We did some things to put our, little twist on it. We used, like, slide and, those kind of things, to get some of the sounds, just to kind of make it sound more like us. And of course we play through our rigs. So, I mean, those are the,
right.
That's pretty much the same stuff we use on stage. So, we have a sound, so if we're, and it's pretty much, with just a few exceptions, we kept it pretty true to the original, and now Adam's actually playing a couple of dates with, for people who don't know, Adam Newell, the other guitar player, and Scattered Hamlet's playing some dates. He's filling in on guitar for Dee in August and a couple dates too, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because when the thing with Dee is he's super cool on Twitter. I got to meet him, I think it was a month and a half ago, but he's really responsive on Twitter. So when you guys put him out, I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta shoot this to Dee because I know he'll check it out because he's so responsive on Twitter. And then when I sent it over to him, I'm like, dude, he can't get enough of it because he kept tweeting it out throughout the day. And you're like, dude, the funny thing is, like, Adam's playing with him, and he doesn't put two and two together yet.
He doesn't even make the connection yet. Yeah, it's so funny. Like, we found out, like, after you sent it to him, too, his son sent it to him as well.
Oh, cool.
And, so he got it from a couple different directions, but, he definitely, I mean, you were the first one that, he responded back to, and has just said so many nice things. I mean, the way he, he's just class, that's, and that makes me even happier that that's the song we picked. You know what I mean? It's, just seeing that somebody, understood why we did something, the purpose behind it, and appreciated that, and that's cool. It's class, that's not everybody's the same. Not everybody would have that perspective. He could have just ignored us. He could have said it sucked. He's like, fuck you guys.
You would appreciate this Twisted Sister story. And I told Dee when I met him. Now I saw Twisted. This is going to show my age. I think it was 87 or 88. They played the Tower Theater in Upper Darby, where I grew up, the legendary Tower Theater, and saw them. And afterwards, me and my couple buddies I was hanging out with, we were, waiting outside to try to meet them, and we're just fucking hanging out. And they come walking out like whatever it was, half hour later, and there wasn't a lot of people out there, and they were signing autographs and shit. And somehow we just like started talking to them, and they were like real sociable and joking around, and we started got on talking about wrestling. And next thing you know, dude, they start wrestling us outside the Tower Theater and just beating the shit out of me and my buddies. I mean, like slamming us and all. And I'm telling Snider this, and Dee starts laughing and just looks at me and goes straight face. It was all Mendoza, and I'm like, yep.
That's incredible, man. Yeah, that's great. And but that shows you, like those are the kind of people that you're dealing with, And I find, in the musical journey that I've been on, I find that the people that have reached that legendary status or that are on their way to be legends tend to be cool like that, and it's the folks that are kind of not there or think they're there that sometimes are the douchebags. It's kind of but I will say we've come across very few people that haven't been like nice to us, and I don't care, we just do our thing, but it's cool that, like, cause clear, I mean, those guys that's legend status, there's no question, and that's, and to be cool like that, I'm sure, and, like, you have that story. Think of all the stories that people have of coming across them like that, and that's probably why they're still doing what they're doing, and successful at it.
Well, it's funny because I sat and I watched last night your Facebook Live video, and speaking of legend, like I gotta know, so why doesn't Lita Ford like you?
I don't know. It was really weird, like I the first concert one of my older cousins took me when I was little. I was like in elementary school. I'd never really been to a rock concert. He took me to see Poison, Britney Fox, and Lita Ford, and I was like, oh, cool, and I watched it, and I was like spellbound, I was like, yes, this is awesome, rock is great, this is all, this is killer. So okay, so now cut to, I don't know, it was probably when I first started my own music career. I was like at the Rainbow in Los Angeles, and I was sitting by myself at the bar upstairs, and like CeCe DeVille walks in. He looks like he walked off of like he's CeCe DeVille. Like, it was hilarious. Right. Like, I mean, he looked exactly like I remembered him, on stage. And I'm a full grown man now, and this guy walks in, and it's just like, there he is, and I was like, and I don't know, I was just like, hey, CeCe, what's up, man? And he was like, hey. And he came over and he sat down next to me, and I was like, well, this is so bizarre. So I was like, hey, I saw, and he seems kind of like out of it, like he's sort of all over the place, and I told him the same thing I just told you, and he was like, and he started going, he goes, and where was that? And I told him, like, where the show was and everything, and like it came back to him. He was like perfect moment of clarity. He was like started explaining to me like all about that tour. He talked about it. He's going on, and and he found out that I'm a musician as well, and and I told him, yeah, I was like, so maybe if I never would have saw that show, who knows, maybe I wouldn't do what I do. And he's like, that's a very nice thing to say. He's like, I'm glad I talked to you, and it was just like so cool. And then like a girl came by and he was gone like in 2 seconds, which is hilarious. But it's like, but I was like that, but it was like a perfect conversation, So I was like, that was really cool, and I had really great things. So, okay, cut to last year, I'm at a festival, and we're like we were like two bands behind Lita Ford, And earlier in the morning, you know, I'm like a big gear nerd, so I was talking to like her tech and stuff about like, you know, the rigs and stuff they were using, and he was super cool, and you know, I was talking with them, and you know, I was talking to like the Jackal guys. There's a lot of cool bands on that bill, and yeah, and then you know, she finally gets there. You know, we're sitting around backstage, and she's just sitting there like kind of, you know, messing with her guitar and like talking to people. She wasn't like doing anything. So I was like, I'm going to go over and kind of have that same conversation I had with CC DeVille. No way, man. Like, I walk over to her, and, like, she just kind of looked at me and just was like, yeah. I mean, I told her the same thing. I was like, yeah. You know, I said, so I thought it was pretty cool. You know, I get to play here. She's like, yeah. And just kind of, like, stares at me and, like, turns around and just, like, completely snubbed me. And I was just like, well, damn. You know, and I was just kind of like, okay. And I was like, you know, and then I'm like sitting there, I'm like, you know, because then I'm like, I was like, okay, now I'm gonna, and I was like, nah, I just kind of like let it go, and I'm like mumbling to myself. I was like, you know, it's like maybe I'll remind her how old I am now and how young I was at that show. and it was like, and it was crazy, you know, and then I was like, you know, and she actually had snubbed our guitar player Adam open for her one time, and
really?
Their local paper was there. And he asked her for a picture, and she said, for the paper? Like, for media. And she's like, no. And she tried to make him pay for it because she thought he was lying about the media. Like, so Adam had already told, so, like, these two stories, like, I'm just was like, wow. I was like, does she just, like, hate us? Or, like, does she probably doesn't even know the connection. But it was a really weird, you know, I don't know if we just both caught her on 2 different days. I mean, it was just a very bizarre thing. Like, I mean, you know, I don't think that I've walked up to anybody to talk to them, especially like, you know, at a festival, like on a peer level even, you know, not that you should treat anybody differently, but, you know, I've just never been snubbed like that. You know, it was a weird thing. And I was just like, oh shit. Well, okay. Maybe she, you know, she doesn't like, you know, maybe I remind her, you know, I mean, I am a loudmouth man and a, you know, big beard and a cowboy hat and stuff. Maybe she just thought I was a dingbat or something. And, you know, but yeah, it was funny. And then, like, you know, we find out we're playing with her again at Sturgis. I was like, all right, I'm going to try again.
You have to. Oh, you have to. You know what? Look,
I'm going to walk over. I'm going to try the same conversation.
Here, I have her on the phone right now. You ready?
This is Lita Ford, and you are listening to Totally Driven Radio. Kiss me deadly, baby.
Yeah, she's awesome. Like, there's no question.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just... You know, and yeah, that was the thing. I was like, but you know, hey, anybody can have a bad day or something, you know. But it just was one of those ones that stuck with me, and you know, it's like, and it was just funny. Like, it was just I had the exact opposite experience with CC DeVille, so maybe I had like unrealistic expectations of what was gonna happen, or you know, or I don't know, maybe her cat died that day or something. I don't know, you know, like it's hard to say, but yeah, but it was funny. So it was hilarious that like it came back around again. You know, we're on the same bill. You know,
you have to absolutely try to, and I want an update. I want to hear this.
Oh yeah, we've got to. I was like, we can't go in with our cameras blazing, or that probably would definitely piss her off. But you know, I'll try to, you know, just at least go in. You know, I don't want to. You know, at least wait till after we play. I don't need to get kicked off that show. That.
Hey, Lita, we're going to Facebook Live and see if you're going to be nice to us this time.
Yeah, I've gotten mad at people for that too, though, I will say. So, like, sometimes there's, like, you know, like that little, you know, like that public and private thing, you know, and I'm usually pretty cool if you start something. But, you know, I've been, like, hanging out with the green room, and, like, some jabroni will be, like, you know, FaceTime living, like, while I'm sitting there, I don't know, like, brushing my teeth or something, you know. And you know, and I'll be like, hey, you know what? This is like our 2 seconds of like quiet before we have to, you know, to go do our thing. I was like, can you not like Facebook Live anymore and do that? You know, or what is the other one? What's the other one they use? The Snapchat.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, it's like, you know, and I'm just like, can you not do that? And then you'll turn around like 5 minutes later and they're like doing it. They're like trying to sneak it. And I was like, yeah, I was like, you know, of course then I threw them out, you know, but it was just like, what the hell, man? You know, it's like, What's wrong with you? You know, but I mean, I was at least nice about it. You know what I'm saying? So it was, you know, at first, but it's like, what the hell is wrong? So I'm sure, you know, she probably gets that, you know, magnified by 1,000 too.
Right.
You know, so I try not to judge. It just was funny, you know, like it's been, and I'm very, you know, on social media, if I have an experience, I let everybody know about it, you know, good or bad, because it's funny. You know, I have no reason to pull punches for anyone, you know. So,
you're throwing them potatoes right in there.
Yeah, that's what happened. You know, that was my experience, you know, and this is how it was, you know, and yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully that, I mean, hopefully it goes well. You know, maybe she'll realize what's been missing in Kiss Me Deadly is a bearded guy on a Les Paul to come out with her on stage. That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Now we're talking real unrealistic expectations.
And you got to tell her, like, it's funny because when I did interview her, all I kept telling her is, like, all I care about is wanting to see you play Dress to Kill. Like, I don't give a shit about any of the other songs. Just Dress to Kill. We Gotta Let Go. Like, those are my two favorite songs of Needed. Like, the other ones, like, mean nothing to me.
You know, maybe I should just go in like a completely different. Maybe I should just go in like the ultra confident direction and just be like, "Hey, Lita, you know, this is Adam Joad. What song are we going to be doing together tonight?" just see how that one flies. You know, maybe that'll be maybe that'll be the third try. If I get snubbed twice, that'll be the third one. We'll just go straight in.
Tell her Cece told me we were playing a song together.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, we're doing the song. We're doing Dress to Kill.
or tell her you're doing. You heard you were doing a duet with Kiss Me Deadly.
That's right. Yeah, or we could do the Aussie one with. I'll do the Aussie part. Well, yeah. See, there's so many things that can happen.
Oh man. It's funny you brought the whole Facebook Live thing. Like, how was that? Like, what's your thoughts like when you're on stage and you're seeing all the phones up?
You know, it's kind of. I don't know what you're doing with the videos because they sound like crap. You know, it's one of those, like, I don't mind it, but like, it's like, you know, it's like, hey, just enjoy the show, be in the moment for a minute, you know, like, it's just enjoy it. You know, you don't have to tell everybody else about it. They're not going to want to watch the video. I mean, you know, it's because it's going to sound like, you know, ass and, you know, I mean, but hey, you know, if they're out, they're at the show, that's how they enjoy the show, then cool. But yeah, I do think it's a little, you know, kind of silly after a while whenever I definitely never want to see that. Like, people always be like, hey man, I just was checking out this band. You want to see my video I got on my phone? No, I don't, but I love that band. You know, like, but I don't want to see your, you know, like phone, like vintage review. Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to see that, but.
That's so funny. That is so freaking funny.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like I'm pulling a Danzig where he gets mad when people like take pictures or anything. And, you know, maybe one day I will when I get more temperamental. But, you know, for right now, I don't care. It's just like I usually just tell them, make sure you get my good side.
You know, it's funny because I'll do it. Like, I'll do like a Facebook Live for like one or two songs here and there of groups. And then, like, as I'm standing in the back and I'm watching the show, like, I see all the phones up. And I'm just, like, kind of shaking my head like, wow, that looks just kind of jacked up. It really does.
Yeah, it's just weird, you know. But like I said, you know, who knows? You know, I don't. You know, I know there's some artists that are really bothered by it. You know, like it's just I'm not that bothered by it. You know, there's very few things that I'm very, you know, bothered by as long as you know, yeah, you know, I don't get too upset. I mean, there's only, you know, like, I mean, if somebody, you know, I think the only things that I've ever gotten off stage for were like, you know, a dude, you know, punching a girl in a mosh pit, like things like that, you know, like when somebody's being like unsafe, like that's kind of stuff, you know, obviously there's, you know, it's like nobody should feel, you know, God, I want to sound like a freaking super liberal now, but I mean, nobody should feel unsafe at a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? But yeah, that's what I mean, you know. But yeah, that's, you know, it's a fun place. It should be a fun place, you know. That's for
absolutely. Sure. Now going back to the Stay Hungry single, you said you guys did some other ones. Are you going to release any of those other ones, or is it just going to be this single and then work on an album at some point, or?
Yeah, that's the move. Yeah, none of the other ones are, you know, they're just demoed on my computer. You know, they're just, you know, and when I say demo, like what we do is, you know, a lot of the way our songs start is, you know, I just use like plugins and, you know, some fake drums and stuff like that, and just kind of make a skeleton of about what it's going to sound like, and then if it progresses, then the other guys will play some parts on it, and then, you know, or send me stuff, and, you know, and that's kind of how they progress from there. So yeah, we have them in that form, so they're not really made for people to like listen to. You know, they have the sonic quality of, like, you know, early Misfits albums, you know, like, just like which I love. Don't get me wrong, but you know that, you know, but yeah, it's like the old punk rock stuff, you know. But yeah, so no, we're not gonna release.
I was really shocked, like when you did when Stay Hungry came out. I was like, I wasn't expecting it, and then like I'm like, duh, I'm an idiot. The tour's called freaking Stay Hungry. So,
yeah, you know, no one made that connection. I thought for sure that was gonna be like, I was like, okay, somebody's gonna figure this out, and nobody did. It was pretty funny. So I was like, yeah, oh cool. So, you know, but you know, it's one of those ones that it's not like a one that everybody knows. You know, like I mean, if you're a music fan, you know that one. But if you're, you know, if you're like a casual listener, you know, they know, like, you know, I Want to Rock and, you know, We're Not Going to Take It and those kind of anthems. And, you know, like those, for me, like stuff like that is kind of, you know, those are like sort of untouchable almost, you know. That would be like, I don't know, like going to cover like Freebird or something. You know, it's like, you got to, you know, there's some, you know, that you're walking on thin ice. You know, yeah, I'm not saying it can't be done, but you know, you're setting yourself up there. You know,
this is true. This is freaking true. Yes, I mean, like now, like I mean, others. I mean, I saw you were saying in the Facebook Live video, like stations are picking up though a bit. Like Sirius XM, they got to get on the ball with this shit.
Yeah, I just heard Hair Nation announced that we were going to be at Sturgis, you know, which we're not really totally that format, but you know, I'm hoping, you know, that some more of them pick it up, and you know, some FM has been picking them up, and it's you know, we kind of fall in, you know, what we found with, like, you know, the terrestrial radio and stuff like that is, since we don't exactly follow the blueprint of what they consider active rock is right now,
right,
and which means that you know, we don't sing exactly like, you know, we're trying to copy Nickelback or something, which, no offense on Nickelback, they made the sound, you know, but like there's a million, you know, you hear a million of these like you know, radio rock bands that sound, you can't even differentiate them from the next one. Yeah. And, you know, like that's one cool thing about like 80s music and I heard actually Tom Kiefer brought this up before, and if people don't know out there, you should know, but Tom Kiefer was a singer for Cinderella. You know, he had said one of the things that he appreciated about music in before this modern era, if you will, was that you could instantly tell a band by the vocalist, because they all sounded different, you know. Mm-hmm. And now it's like all the vocalists are trying to sound exactly the same. And, you know, and this isn't a talent slam. They don't have to. They can sound a lot of different ways. You know, like I can make I could go to karaoke and sing. If you're a professional, you can sound a lot of different ways. You know, people do it in cover bands all the time. Right. And so like, you know, and then you start making a copy of a copy of a copy, and now you're down to like, you know, fifth-rate Nickelback. You know, and you know, and I'm not sure still, you know, like I still wasn't okay with second-rate Nickelbacks, and now we're at fifth-rate Nickelback, you know, and yeah, it's like a, you know, it's like that, you know, so that was kind of my thing, you know, so we don't follow that, you know. I do a lot of, you know, it was funny, I was talking with a major label one time, and you know, he was criticizing like the way that I structured one of my songs, or a couple of them actually, where we've kind of put like a hook in the pre-chorus, you know. Okay. And he was going on and on about that, you know. He's like, you know, you've got this in the wrong place, you know. And he's like, you know, that's never going to work on the radio. I was like, oh really? That's never going to work on the radio. He's like, yeah, it's not what sells albums. I'm like, yeah, do you know where I got that from? And he was like, no. I was like, I got that from Mutt Lange. You know, like I think that he's produced a few pretty good albums in multiple genres. Yeah. I was like, he does that all the time. I was like, and that's the person that I studied and got that idea from, and he probably got it from somebody else. But it's funny whenever, you know, there's a very, you know, a limited perspective because they're just focusing on what's happening right there at that particular time. And yeah, and it's weird, you know, it's just one of those funny things. But I was like, I just thought it was funny to hear somebody that, you know, that was the key to paying a whole bunch of money to put a radio campaign behind us who was telling me that a Mutt Lange trick doesn't work. I was like, yeah, tell Def Leppard and Shania Twain that, you know.
That's, I mean, yeah, right. That just speaks so many volumes right there.
Yeah, and it's like, I was like, man, sometimes, you know, you get done with those conversations and I'm just like, man, I'm baffled, you know, like that just cracked me up, you know, like that was really the conversation I just had, you know. I was like, no, that's not right.
It's like I don't listen to terrestrial radio. Like I haven't listened to terrestrial radio in years. Like I listen to Sirius XM or, you know, whatever is on my phone.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. You know, it's like, you know, when you stop giving people the things that they want to hear after a while, you know, that's what happens. You know, they migrate to different, you know, formats and stuff. And, you know, it's just, so it's like the Wild West now. It's just the music industry is a very strange place, you know, these days. And, you know, and since there's not as much money just off of album sales, you know, I think that, you know, everybody's like scrambling around trying to be as safe as possible, you know, and one thing that makes rock and metal crappy is being safe.
It's true. It's just true.
Yeah, safe albums, not good.
But it has become, you know, like on both sides of the fence, even like for you know, a label or, you know, artists that are doing it themselves, because, I mean, it's especially with the artists, it's your money that you're taking the chance with.
Yeah, that's it, you know, and I get it, you know, and they're in a different perspective, you know, like I don't, you know, I don't begrudge them, you know, that or anything. It's just a different way to, you know, to look at, you know, they're in the business of trying to make money off their investment that way, and they want to make that money back as quick as possible. I want to make sure that I have a long career and nobody forgets about me next year, you know. So it's kind of like two different, you know, which ideally that would be beneficial to them as well, but you know, but it's short-sighted, you know. It's short-sighted. It's but, you know, it is what it is. I don't like bands that, you know, complain about that kind of stuff. It is what it is. We know that's the state of it. If you're not okay with that, then that's the game right now. You know, it's like if you don't like those rules, you're not going to change the rules today. You know, like that's the game. That's the game. You know, you have to adapt to those conditions. You know, if you don't want to adapt to those conditions, then go do something else. You know, you can't. I don't want to sit around and cry about it.
Right, but I think like what you did, like, I mean, yeah, you know, your circumstances with Jake and all, it's understandable too from that point, but also too, and I have told so many bands this, like, I mean, as much as I love full albums, at this state of the game, you really don't have to do it. You can just throw a single up there every so often and then come back at some point with a full album. But as long as you're just whetting people's appetites with these singles, the cover here and there, I mean, it works now. You can get away with it.
Yeah, there's all kind of, and that's the thing. There's no like right way. You know, that's why I said it's like the wild. You know, it's kind of like the Wild West, and it's cool because you know, you can drive innovation like that. Yeah, you could drop one song, you know, and but of course, you know, from the quote, you know, the label perspective, they want you to put out albums all the time. You know, and I get that pressure too. Like, oh, when's the new album coming? I'm like, people are still digging on the other album. You know, it's like we're still touring regularly. People are still coming to the shows, so. You know, there's really no reason to go back in the studio and start sinking all that money yet until you know, until it's time, or until you're ready to make one. You know, I don't like to put out stuff before it's ready. You know, I would rather do a really good album. People be like, man, why'd you wait so long to put something this good out than to, you know, put out a mediocre one every year.
Right.
You know, and even because they told you that they needed that, you know, well, we're not going to book you if you don't have that album out. You know, it's like, okay, then don't book us, you know, and we'll, you know, go around. And I'm sure that in different ways this has always been, you know, the business and the artist both kind of need each other. And I think it's probably always been a contentious relationship, just in different forms, I'm sure, you know, but Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you guys doing? You guys have any vinyl? I mean, have you crossed that road yet, or?
No, we should have. We just haven't got around to it yet. You know, you know, it was something that I really wanted to do last album, and you know, when we were, you know, getting it just didn't happen last time. But you know, but I think it's going to present a cool one because I think I can go back and I think you know, when we go back and reissue like Skeleton Dixie and like Swamp Rebel Machine on you know, on vinyl, I think it'll add new life to them for a lot of people that, you know, didn't know about us, you know, because, you know, this year especially, we're getting in front of so many more people than we have in the past that, you know, they don't even know we have 2 albums out, you know, so It's going to be new for them. So I think when that time comes, it'll be a cool thing, you know, and it can kind of, you know, breathe some life back into some of that stuff that we still play, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love vinyl. I collect vinyl myself, so.
Yeah, I mean that's like I had really refused to do like the whole Spotify thing until like my buddy Nick, who's my co-host on our live show on Thursdays, like he has been on me. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, try it. And I found like, all right, like I broke down and I tried it. I'm like, holy shit, like this is just
it's sweet.
Yeah, it really.
I was late to the party too, but it's sweet.
Yeah, I was on the other night. I'm like, dude, it's like I have a record store on my phone. It's just
Yeah, it's funny, like, because a lot of our fan base are really traditionalists and don't listen to, like, a lot of Spotify. So it's funny, like, we have real high, like, you know, we have, like, physical album sale numbers, and, but, like, our Spotify numbers are like, they're, you know, they're not great, you know, and it's just, it was one of those things, I was like, none of our people are using it. You know, a lot of the people that listen to us, you know, just haven't found it yet. You know, once they, you know, they'll discover it like, you know, like you and I did, and they'll be like, holy crap, you know. but I don't care. But to me, it doesn't really matter. It's just if you're getting the music, I don't care how you get it. If you like to get it at this format, cool. If you like that format, fine. You know, it doesn't make any difference to me. But you know, as long as you're getting it, you know, and but yeah, I think it's great. You know, and Spotify has done some really cool things. With you know how they, you know, like how you can adjust like artist pages and stuff, and and you know it's not obviously, you know, I prefer, you know, I make more money from, you know, physical sales, you know, it just is, you know, obviously, but I mean it's still a cool format, you know. I like the idea that somebody, you know, on the other side of the world that we don't ship to can, you know, just go on to Spotify and listen to us, you know. Like we found there was a band and we there's a video floating around on YouTube of a band in South America that was covering Shelter. I thought it was awesome. You know, it was like, and the singer had like he had a cowboy hat on and like a shirt like I wear, and the guitar player looked like he was playing like a Dean like Dimebag. I was like, this is awesome. You know, like look this. You know, that somebody in, you know, South America, you know, thought this was cool. You know, and that's, you know, somewhere I've never been, you know, and it was neat, and that's the power of the internet, you know. You know, Spotify is just one vessel of that, you know.
Speaking of Dimebag, how mind blowing is this whole Vinnie Paul thing passing away? My Lord.
Yeah, man, my phone was blowing up the other night, and I didn't know why, and I just was like, no, I'm not getting in, you know, and I woke up the next day, and that was it, you know, and that was just, you know, that's another, you know, it's a legend gone, you know. There's just no other way to put it. You know, he's I was just telling somebody this earlier, you know, in a room of legends, Vinnie Paul stood out. You know, I remember being backstage at the Golden Gods, and you're in a room, like the green room back there was like a bar, and you've got, I mean, you know, everybody from Slipknot to Lemmy to, you know, like, you know, the guys in, you know, like Hatebreed, like, you know, there are just a room full of all these, like, you know, pretty, all pretty successful musicians in their own right. And, like, Vinnie Paul walks in. And everybody, it's like, hey, Vinnie, you know, it's like everybody's, you know, like, and you know, there he is. You know, it's like he was larger than life. And, you know, I saw, same thing, you know, we were having a band argument in Vegas at the Hard Rock. It was like 3 a.m, you know, And you look over and and it's like, and there's Vinnie Paul playing cards at the table laughing at us because, he's been there, done that. You know what I mean? It was just,
right.
At Rockfest last year, hell yeah, headline one of the stages we were at. And, I watched him. He walked around Jake's Puke like at 7 a.m, to get to his golf cart. And he walked, I swear to God, he walked off his bus at 7 a.m, already was Vinnie Paul. Like he had his hat on. Like he already looked like he walked off a Pantera album cover. It's 7 a.m. Like I look like death, and Vinnie Paul just walks out, gets in his golf cart, just gives like a little wave and takes off. And that was it. It's like, that's just, beyond the music, like beyond,
right.
being an icon, that way. It was just like, he just had this aura about him that was just, it was just really cool. And, and that's, that's kind of how I, always picture him in my head. And the hard thing about that is like, he's just a mortal human being like everybody else,
Right.
And that's scary too, like that realization, because you just look at somebody like that, it's like, this invincible, awesome, thing, and you spam, so it's just horrible, I mean, it's just, I real feel for his family and stuff, and just a crappy all around.
It's like when I sit, especially now that both Dimebag and Brittany are gone. Like you look at them old Pantera videos, it just makes me so sad. Like I want to see it so bad and experience that music again, and it's just like fuck. It's so angry.
Yeah, it's just I was watching the other day when we were supposed to play. It was a while ago. We were supposed to be playing with Sons of Texas, and it was like it was a show where everybody on the bill had to pay one Pantera song. Like it was something, which was awesome. Like that was just a cool thing. So Sons of Texas, like depending on where you were in the order is what you got to pick. So we got like to pick second.
Okay.
And it was like, what song are we gonna pick? And it was like, and I don't even think I told the guys. I just picked immediately. I was like, we're doing I was like, we're doing Revolution Is My Name. I was like, that's what I want to do. Yeah, I was like, that's what we're doing. I was like, we're gonna play cowbell in the middle of the heaviest song ever, and it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, come on, that's it. That's Pantera, right? Like, I mean, there's cowbell in the middle of the most extreme metal song, like that. I don't care what Cookie Monster kid that's trying to be heavy in their basement or somewhere, but look, they did it and put a cowbell in the middle, and it was awesome. It was still the most metal thing, and that's just Pantera, That's it.
Sums it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's it. That's. But yes. Anyway, that show didn't happen, so we never got to play it. But that would have been. Yeah. So unfortunately, that it got canceled. But that would have been cool. I'm sitting down here right now. I have two life-size cutouts down here in my room. One of them is Dimebag and one's Jake. So, I guess I'm gonna have to get a Vinnie Paul one and a Kiss one. I want the whole Kiss band too. That's my other one.
I saw you guys had the Jake one. You guys were bringing around with you.
Yeah. We still you did that last tour. We still have that one, obviously, and so that's shit. I said Kiss. I shouldn't even go down that rabbit hole. That'll send me in a whole nother tangent.
Dude, we can go on so many tangents. It's crazy.
Yeah. One of if the guitar player who played with us during the Skeleton Dixie album actually went on to be Gene Simmons' bass tech. So, as the biggest Kiss fan on the point, like I'm not the biggest Kiss fan. I'm not ready to drop $10,000 on one of Paul Stanley's guitars or anything, but I'm a pretty big Kiss fan. And so we've gotten to go like backstage and stuff whenever he was working it and stuff, and I have like a Kiss shrine at the house, and most of the things are things he gave me, but it's pretty cool to hear some of those Kiss stories from him, because like he's in the trenches, like he sees what happens at every show, and like the things that you can imagine in your head are very, there's definitely a Spinal Tap quality.
I can imagine. Oh man. That's too
in
freaking
the most
fun.
awesome way possible. Yeah. I say that with the most awesome way possible. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, I won't rat him out or anything, because he tells you the stuff in confidence, but some of it you're just like, that's hilarious, man. There's different levels of success with everything, and that's just another one, man. When you can come down from the sky at the arena.
Oh man. So all right, well, I actually have to wrap up. I have another interview.
Yep,
I got.
no worries, man.
And it's kind of give you a good laugh. Bobbie Brown.
Oh hell yeah! I love Bobbie Brown, man. I go back to like the new edition stuff and everything.
Absolutely.
He won't know who the hell I am, but tell him that Adam Joad says what's up and. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I love. When I get into my Belle Biv DeVoe kick in the van, everybody like loses their mind and puts their headphones on, so they're not, even though it's not Bobbie Brown, but that's still part of the new edition.
Dude, how can you not like Belle Biv DeVoe? Come on.
It's a character flaw if you don't. But Bobbie Brown, man, when Humping Around comes on in the van or My Prerogative, I think I can dance for a second, just for a minute. I get that. I get my white man's overbite going and stuff, and then I'm like, all right, I got to stop now. But yeah, that's a legend, man. That's cool. Actually,
it's the Cherry Pie Girl, but.
Oh, that one. Damn, I was going in a different direction. Well, that's cool too.
Yeah.
That one goes in a whole other direction. Yeah, that was So anyway, but I'm not as excited about that one as the other Bobbie Brown, but I'm still excited for you. That fits your show format better. That makes more sense.
My show format is all over the freaking place.
That's awesome.
As a matter of fact, I gotta play this too. I gotta play this one too for you real quick.
Okay. This is Aaron Sheik. Don't be jabroni. Listen to the number one radio station, Tolo station, and have a good day.
Yes. We tried to get him to do a clip for the last album. We could not make any headway with that. So you're the king, man. That's as far as I'm concerned. That wins hands down. Look forward to seeing you outside of Philadelphia here soon. And
absolutely.
Yeah. You can still tell Bobbie Brown I said hello. You can tell her that I thought she was sang My Prerogative, but
Oh shit. Oh, dude. Oh man.
Shit. All right. We can't go
stuff.
anywhere after that. We'll just leave it at that, man.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll call you. Be safe. We'll be in touch while you're touring and shit.
Absolutely, bud. We'll talk later.
All right.
Bye.
Yep. Take care.